Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about a very small coin that might be hiding in your pocket, your piggy bank, or even that old jar of coins sitting on your shelf. It's the 1984 Lincoln penny from the United States, and believe it or not, this tiny coin can be worth up to $4,000 if it has the right kind of error and is in great condition. You heard that right, a single penny worth thousands of dollars. So, if you're someone who enjoys learning about rare coins, coin collecting, or just loves discovering hidden treasures, this video is definitely for you. Let's start by talking about the basics. The 1984 penny was made at the Denver Mint, and that's what the D stands for. When you look at the front of a US penny, you'll usually see a small letter under the year. That letter tells you which US mint made the coin. In this case, the D means Denver. The 1984 penny shows Abraham Lincoln on the front, just like most other US pennies. On the back, it shows the Lincoln Memorial, which was part of the penny's design from 1959 to 2008. Now, here's something interesting. In 1984 alone, the US Mint made over 13 billion pennies. That's billion with a B. More than 5.5 billion of them were made in Denver. So most 1984 pennies are very common, and if you have one, it's probably worth just 1 cent, unless it has something special about it. So, what makes a few of these pennies so valuable? The answer is coin errors. Sometimes, when coins are made at the mint, mistakes happen. And when these mistakes make it onto the final coin, collectors get very excited. These types of mistake coins are called error coins, and depending on the type of error and the coin's condition, it can be worth a lot of money. In the case of the 1984 penny, one of the most well-known and valuable errors is something called a double die obverse. Let's break that down in simple words. Obverse just means the front of the coin. The side with Abraham Lincoln's face. Double die means that the design on the coin was stamped twice by mistake. This can cause parts of the design to look like they are doubled, especially around the lettering or on Lincoln's features like his ear or beard. On the 1984 penny, there's a famous double die error where it looks like Lincoln has a second ear behind the first one. It's often called the double ear penny. If you see this kind of doubling, especially near Lincoln's ear, it could be one of those valuable coins. Coins with this double die error have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. In one case, a 1984 penny with this error, in perfect mint condition, sold for over $4,000 at a public auction. But keep in mind that condition is a big part of what makes a coin valuable. A coin that's been heavily used and scratched will usually be worth less than one that looks brand new. Coin collectors call these grades, and a high-grade coin is one that looks nearly perfect. Another error to look out for on 1984 pennies is called a repunched mint mark. This happens when the small D under the year was stamped more than once by mistake, slightly off from the first stamp. If you look closely, maybe with a magnifying glass, you might see what looks like a second D peeking out from behind the first one. This kind of error isn't as valuable as the doubled ear, but it can still be worth more than a regular penny, sometimes around $10 to $50 or more, depending on the condition. There are also other kinds of errors you might find. For example, some 1984 pennies may have been struck off center. That means the coin wasn't lined up properly during the stamping process, so part of the design is missing or looks crooked. These coins can also be valuable, especially if the mistake is large and easy to see. Another rare type is called a die break or a cud. That's when the stamping tool itself is cracked or damaged, and it leaves a raised bump or missing design on the coin. These can be worth some money too, depending on how dramatic the error is. Even though billions of 1984 pennies were made, only a small number have these special errors. That's what makes them rare and why collectors are willing to pay a lot for them. If you're checking your change or going through an old coin collection, it's definitely worth taking a closer look at your 1984 pennies. You never know what you might find. So how can you check if your penny is valuable? First, look at the date and mint mark. Make sure it says 1984 and has a D under the year. Then, look closely at Lincoln's ear. Does it look like there's another ear behind it? If so, you might have the double ear variety. Next, check the mint mark. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Do you see any doubling or a shadow around the D? That could mean it's a repunched mint mark. Also, turn the coin over and look at both sides carefully. Is anything off-center, missing, or extra raised? That could be another kind of error. If you think you found a valuable coin, you might want to have it checked by a coin expert or send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. These are professional companies that grade and authenticate coins. If your coin is confirmed to have a rare error and it's in good condition, they'll give it an official grade and seal it in a protective holder. This can help you get a higher price if you ever decide to sell it. You can also search online for pictures of 1984 D-era pennies to compare with yours. There are many websites and videos showing what the doubled ear looks like and how to tell the difference between a real error and just normal wear and tear. But don't get discouraged if your coin isn't valuable. Most 1984 D pennies are still just worth a cent, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep looking. The thrill of the hunt is what makes coin collecting so fun. Many collectors started their journey just by checking their spare change. One day, they found something rare and valuable, and it sparked a lifelong hobby. Even if you don't find a rare coin today, just learning about coins and their history is enjoyable. Every coin has a story. It was made, passed through many hands, and now it's with you. And if you're lucky, maybe that story ends with you discovering a small fortune. So the next time you come across a 1984 D penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You never know. It might be one of those ultra-rare coins that's worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to check your change, but it could pay off in a big way. Thanks for watching and being part of the coin collecting community. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more easy-to-understand coin stories, error guides, and tips on how to find hidden treasures in your pocket. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you want us to cover a specific coin in a future video. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking those pennies.